Hello my dear students, this is Puranjay Biswas, Professor and Chairman, Department of English, Dhaka College, affiliated with the University of Dhaka. I welcome you to my today's lecture. My today's topic is Robert Herrick's poem, Two Daffodils. I want to discuss the summary and the theme of the poem today. At first, let me read the poem. Two Daffodils by Robert Herrick. Fair daffodils, we weep to see you hasten so soon, as yet the early rising sun has not attained his noon. Stay, stay until the spring day has run but to the even song. And having prayed together, we will go with you alone. We have short time to stay as you. We have as short a spring, as quick a growth to meet decay as you, or anything we die. As your hours do, and dry away like to the summer's rain, or as the pearls of morning's dew, near to be found again. My dear students, let me discuss the summary of the poem line by line, and I am to express the meaning word for word. The poem consists of two parts. Each part consists of 10 lines. Now I want to discuss the first part, consisting of first 10 lines. The poem begins with an apostrophe. The poet addresses the daffodils. Fair daffodils, we weep to see you hasten so soon. The poet addresses the daffodils, and the poet personifies the daffodils as a human being. And the poet expresses his sad feelings, his grief, and the poet weeps. We means human beings, represented by the poet. We weep means the human beings weep. Now, why do human beings weep? Because they can see the beautiful daffodils to go away very soon. How soon do the daffodils fade away? The poet mentions the time, the duration of the daffodils. As yet the early rising sun has not attained his noon. That is, the sun that rises early in the morning has not yet reached his noon. By this, the poet wants to mean that the daffodils bloom early in the morning, but they fade away before the noon. That is, the transitoriness of the beauty of the daffodils makes the poet sad, grieved. The poet wants to enjoy the beauty of the daffodils for a longer time. As the daffodils do not stay for a long time, the poet can't enjoy the beauty and gaiety of the daffodils. And this short span of time of the beauty of the daffodils cannot but make the poet lament. So the first 4 lines express the poet's sad mood caused by the transitoriness of the beauty of the daffodils. Okay? Now, there is another sentence, imperative sentence. The poet makes a request to the daffodils. And what is that? Stay, stay until the hasting day has run. The poet makes this request to the daffodils to stay till the evening. But why? Because the poet can enjoy the beauty of the daffodils till the evening. That is for a long time. But to the even song. Even song means evening song. The poet requires the daffodils to wait till the evening song. Why? Because having prayed together, that is, completing the evening prayer, the poet, that is human beings, want to go along with the daffodils. This part of the poem expresses the surface meaning. Now, what is the surface meaning of this poem? The surface meaning is that the poet is very sad because the daffodils do not stay for a long time. As a result, the poet can't enjoy the beauty of the daffodils. Apparently, it seems to us that the poet speaks of the short span of life of the daffodils. In fact, it is the outer meaning or surface meaning. The second part of the poem expresses the underlying or deeper meaning of the poem. And what is that? Now, let me discuss the next part. My dear students, now let us shift to the second part of the poem. We have short time to stay as you. We have a short spring. What does the poet mean by this? The poet finds a similarity between the daffodils and human beings. And what is that? The poet says that human beings have a short time to stay on earth. That is, human life is very short, transient, just that of the daffodils. The daffodils have a short time, daffodils have a short spring. Likewise, human beings have a short span of life. Now, what does the poet mean by spring? Spring has a symbolic meaning. Here, spring means youth in human life. As spring is the best season, it is called the king of seasons. It symbolizes happiness, gaiety, pleasure, prosperity, rebirth, regeneration, and so on. So, both human beings and the daffodils have short time as well as a short spring. As quick a growth to meet decay. Any growth, the growth of anything very soon meets decay. In fact, no thing and being on earth is permanent. All beautiful things in this world are short-lasting. Today we can see some beautiful flowers. Tomorrow they fade. Any beautiful thing has short time to stay. Any growth, human being is born, gradually grows up, enjoys youth, but very soon grows older and older, and finally meets decay and death. The daffodils have blooming, they have a short spring, then they wither away within a short span of time. In the same way, human beings have birth, growth, youth, and old age, and finally death. As you or anything, you can say we and you. By we, the poet means human beings, and by you, the poet means the daffodils. I have mentioned in the very beginning that there are some figures of speech in this poem. It begins with an apostrophe. There is personification, symbol, alright? So here, you, that is the daffodil. Daffodils are personified, presented as human beings. And the poet is speaking with those personified daffodils. And the poet says that not only the daffodils, but also anything of the world is very short lasting. We die, human beings die, as your hours do. Your hours means just like the hours of the daffodils, just like the life of the daffodils, human beings have death and dry away. As the daffodils dry away very soon, human beings also pass from this world very soon. And here we can find some similes and metaphors. Several similes we can find as, like to the summer's rain. Here is another simile. Human life is as short lasting as that of the summer's rain. The summer's rain are very short lasting. As soon as the summer rain drops fall on the earth, they evaporate and disappear because the ground is so hot and piercing, for which the summer's rain falls and disappear within a very short time. Just like that summer's rain, human life is short lasting. Human beings are born just to meet decay and death. Another simile, or as the pearls of morning's dew. Human life is again compared to morning's dew. We can find also a metaphor. Pearls of morning's dew. Morning's dew is compared to the glittering pearl. Why does the poet compare dew drops to the pearls? As pearls shine and glitter, and look very beautiful. The morning dew drops that fall on the leaves and grass at night glitter in the morning with the sun rays, and they look as beautiful, as glittery as pearls. But there is no use of like, so it is a metaphor. As soon as the sun ray falls on the dew drops, they evaporate and disappear with a short span of time. Human lives on earth are as transient as the short duration of morning's dew, ne'er to be found again. Morning's dews, once disappear, cannot be found again. In the same way, man is born and dies, and with the death, everything of human being is turned into dust, and no more we can come back. And this is the similarity between human beings and beautiful daffodils, summer's rain and morning's dew. My dear students, I have discussed the summary of the poem, and now let me focus on the main theme of the poem. As you have understood that the poem has two different levels of meaning. First is surface meaning, and the second is deeper meaning or philosophical meaning. While the first part of the poem tells us about the transitoriness of the beauty of the daffodils that makes the poet sad, but the second part is highly philosophical because it tells us why does the poet become sad at the loss of the beauty of the daffodils. In fact, the transitoriness of the beauty of the daffodils reminds the poet of the short and transient life of human beings on earth. The poet becomes sad at the sight of the beautiful daffodils. We know that so many flowers bloom and fade away. It doesn't matter to us. But the poet is highly philosophical. He discovers the crucial truth of life, that human being is born just to meet decay and death. Mortality of life makes the poet sad. Now, what is the message of this poem? In my last class, I also focused on Robert Herrick's basic theme of carpe diem. You know that carpe diem is a Latin proverbial sentence which means seize the day, capture the day, the present time. That is, we should use the best and proper use of time. In this poem, we also find that type of message. As our life is very short, just like that of the daffodils, that of the summer stream, and that of the pulse of morning dew, we should enjoy our life. We should not spend our time for nothing. Sometimes we think of the past and we regret. Sometimes we are frustrated thinking of the uncertain future. But Robert Herrick thinks that we should not bother about the past or about the future. Rather, we should think of our present time. We should make proper use of the present time and we should enjoy that time. By utilizing the time, we can make this short life meaningful, significant. My dear students, I can compare the poem to Daffodils with the poem Daffodils by William Wordsworth. The two poets write the two poems regarding the beauty of the daffodils. While Wordsworth is highly glad and delighted at the sight of the beautiful daffodils by the side of a lake, our present poet Robert Herrick is sad, melancholic at the sight of the beautiful daffodils. So the two poems are different in theme, in tone, and in message. The tone of the poem Daffodils by Wordsworth is happy, pleasant, whereas the tone of the poem to Daffodils is very sad, melancholic. While Wordsworth becomes happy with the memory of the daffodils, Robert Herrick becomes sad and mourns. However, my dear students, so far I have discussed summary and the theme of the poem. And what message do you get from this poem? That is carpe diem message. Robert Herrick believes that our life is short, the world is beautiful, love is splendid, and we must use the short time we have to make much of it. That is, let us make our life meaningful with the proper utility of present time. Let us drink life to the least. Thank you. See you next. All the best.